There's an update on Rey Mysterio's injury. We have the original plans for Bayley at WrestleMania, and the WWE Slammy Award winners have been revealed. Stay tuned for all the wrestling news. But first up, we have to talk about it. We saw it in the title right here. It is an exclusive about WWE's partnership, ownership, acquisition of AAA. A major announcement coming yesterday on the WrestleMania 41 pre-show that WWE has acquired AAA, and sources close to Cultaholic have stated that there are currently conversations for a AAA to be rebranded as WWE NXT Mexico, which is huge.
Very, very huge indeed. Now, when it comes to the name change, the source close to Cultaholic says it was bound to happen. The cultural market in Mexico is huge, but it has to be organized.
Now, this is something that I think when we were sat watching the pre-show yesterday in the office, it was, okay, I feel like they're maybe going to go this route. We know that WWE, Triple H in particular, has had this long-term plan for global localization.
Yes.
His catchy tagline for setting up shop in loads and loads of different countries. And it looks like this is just another example of that. They've bought AAA, and then they've maybe, we say maybe because it is just being talked about, it's in conversation, that AAA will be NXT Mexico. But I'm intrigued to see how this places in WWE's partnership with TNA, how NXT is positioned, how Evolve is positioned. It's kind of feeling like WWE's got a feeder system.
It's really, yeah, it definitely is a strange one. Obviously, as you mentioned, you know, we've heard that WWE have wanted to penetrate the Mexican market for the longest time, and this is definitely the way to do so. I wonder if AAA does sort of rebrand to NXT Mexico, does this sort of signify all the other things that we've heard in the past, like NXT Europe? Do they start purchasing certain indies within the UK or other countries and then sort of brand them under this one umbrella? WWE at the moment does like to keep everything sort of branded as WWE, so you know what you're getting. But it's mind-blowing.
It's just giving me flashbacks though when you said that maybe they'll come to the UK scene. We saw that about 10 years ago, and it didn't work out well for a lot of them.
It didn't. It kind of stunted the growth of the UK indie scene.
Yeah, and thinking back to that now, Alex McCarthy was speaking to Triple H for Daily Mail about the sort of expansion into NXT, into Europe, through NXT Europe, which has been long rumored, long talked about as something Triple H wants to do. And Triple H saying it is on whether NXT Europe is happening or not. I'm still a big believer that the UK was going to work. The product was there. The interest level was there. The pandemic squashed it. For years, we couldn't move people. We couldn't bring people in, and it just shut down. I still believe it's there. So clearly, as recently as a few weeks ago, he was still on the bandwagon of going into other places and going, hey, WWE's here to stay.
Do you know what? I think with the whole AAA acquisition, I think it's only a matter of time, personally. I think we might not be waiting too long before we hear of other NXT places opening up.
It's bound to happen. It's kind of worrying, though, at the same time, because you don't want a monopoly. You don't want a monopoly in wrestling or in any business. As much as it's exciting to think about the possible Worlds Collide matchups, it is a little bit worrying. But turning our heads to WrestleMania now, of course, last night we saw Rey Mysterio pulled from his match against El Grande Americano. Chad Gable, possibly, allegedly, perhaps. Who knows? It could be anyone under that mask. Rey announcing on the pre-show that he was pulled suffering a groin injury, and we've now had confirmation of that itself. Mysterio was pulled from the show after suffering the injury on Friday Night SmackDown, with it being noted by Brian Alvarez on the Wrestling Observer Radio that Mysterio was injured in the spot where Julius Creed pulled him out of the ring during the six-man tag. Now, Dave Meltzer reported that the Mysterio suffered a torn groin. Mysterio confirming that himself already. Obviously, the match was reportedly the same.
Yes,
for WrestleMania.
Yeah, the outcome of the match would have stayed the same. It sucks because that would have been an incredible match as well. But we got Rey Fenix at the same time. You know,
that's it. As much as it sucks that Rey Mysterio was injured, we'd never want an injury on anyone.
No.
It did just give a debuting star Rey Fénix this big spotlight on a WrestleMania, which is really quite cool.
It is really cool. Now, torn groins, I believe, take about 12 to 16 weeks, depending. We don't know how bad the tear is of said groin.
Yeah,
of Mr. Mysterio's
groin. The tear of the groin.
Of course,
there's so many variables about groins.
But hopefully we see him back sooner rather than later. Did this El Grande Americano stuff continues?
It continues. I genuinely thought that we were going to see him unmasked.
That's exactly what I thought as well. But the people in the chat, thank you so much to those that joined the WrestleMania live streams, were saying maybe it gets carried over to Worlds Collide.
Oh, damn. Yeah, that of course. And that links back to our first story about AAA. Of course, maybe that is all the luchadors come in and just rip that mask off him. Obviously, we saw Vakingo at the end of that match getting in the ring. So maybe it's Vakingo that's the guy that takes that mask off of El Grande Americano. We'll have to wait and see. And hopefully Rey Mysterio recovers from this injury very, very soon. I mean, he's recovered from many injuries and he moves around about 20 years younger than he should.
Yes, he certainly does.
If anyone's going to recover, it's either him or John Cena.
Yeah.
Absolutely going to be one of the two. We do also have some original plans for Bayley at WrestleMania. Of course, she was also pulled from her match tonight, or last night from WrestleMania. Tell me about it, Andrew.
So, according to PW Insider, Bayley is actually not injured. So, obviously, on night one, we saw during the pre-show, she was knocked down. Someone attacked her from behind. Lyra comes in. What are we going to do? Adam Pearce is like, well, you better find yourself a tag partner in 24 hours, which she did, of course. But yes, according to PW Insider, Bayley is not injured, and the angle that played out on WrestleMania Night 1's pre-show has been the creative plan for several weeks. There's been some sympathy among talents, though, for Bayley this weekend when word began to spread that she'd been pulled from the match, as she's universally respected in the locker room.
And respected by the fans.
Yes.
Like, this is heartbreaking to see, because Bayley has consistently been one of the best acts on WWE programming.
Agreed.
She knows exactly what she needs to do for whatever rivalry, feud, or what storyline she's in.
And the thing is as well, she had the stuff with Roxanne, of course, as well. Obviously, you've got the IC stuff there with Lyra as it is anyway. We were like, oh, if they're tagging together, yes.
How can they coexist?
How can they coexist?
Who knows?
So that's like two sort of feud things she's been taken out of there, which does suck for her. And I feel bad because she does nothing but like give to other people and make them look so much better as well.
Of course, and granted, it did lead to a pretty cool moment. Becky Lynch returning to be Lyra's partner, but again, at the same time, it's come at the cost of Bayley, who didn't need to be the person that was in that match to be pulled in the first place. We could have had someone else, and Bayley could have been used elsewhere on the card. There's so many different things she could have been doing, so it really sucks to see that. And hopefully there is a plan. Maybe we'll see Becky, Bayley, and that's where we go.
Maybe that's where we go. I'm not sure. I'm intrigued to see where it goes, because to me it's sort of like, it feels a little bit similar-ish to the Jade, Bianca, Naomi stuff. But it's the women's tag team titles, isn't it?
They're cursed. The women's tag belts are cursed. They just repeat the same story with different people.
They do.
But the biggest event from the entire weekend, the biggest thing the entire WrestleMania weekend is, of course, the Slammy Awards. I say, of course, this is the first time it's happened during WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
This is the first time. It was a big event. We've got all the winners for you. Like, let's run down this one by one.
One by one? Do you want to take the first one or the second one?
I'll let you take the first one.
Okay, male superstar of the year. Surprise, surprise. It's only Cody Rhodes.
Of course it's Cody Rhodes. The female superstar of the year is Liv Morgan, deservedly so.
Rightly so as well.
So.
Genuinely believe that. NXT superstar of the year. Also another fair one too. Roxanne Perez.
Absolutely deserved on that one. Breakout superstar of the year, Stephanie Vaquer. Absolutely deserved on that one.
Booker T's going mental somewhere. We got faction of the year, the OG Bloodline.
Of course. The tag team of the year, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair.
Oh.
Yeah, controversial pick for me, that one. I think it should have been Fraxium, but they weren't even nominated. Outrage.
You are speaking to me. You are speaking to me. So we've got Social Star of the Year, who did it once again this evening. My goodness gracious me, Drew McIntyre, knocking it out the park.
He proved why he earned that Slammy Award. The rivalry of the year, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. What an incredible storyline. What an incredible series of matches.
Absolutely. Match of the year, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, and CM Punk. We've got a double winner. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood. It's a tie.
Both of those are matches of the year. They're fantastic matches.
Yep.
The OMG moment of the year, John Cena turns on Cody Rhodes at Elimination Chamber. That did shock the world.
It certainly did. You got the WTF moment of the year, the Wyatt Six debut as well.
And the most memorable entrance, Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40, the one last year, not the one last night with the Iron Man mask.
That was kind of cool.
That was pretty cool.
He
was like Iron Man. I think all of those are absolutely deserved winners there, apart from, well, I want Fraxium.
Fraxium.
Part of that one. Part asterisk on that one. Fraxium should have been the winners. I'm intrigued to see if they continue to make the Slammy Awards a big thing around WrestleMania, because it is a lot of fun.
Yeah, do you know what, the whole sort of thing around this with the Hall of Fame as well, I've really enjoyed it this year. It does feel just like a big old festival of wrestling.
It is a big festival of wrestling.
Yeah.
I love it. I love WrestleMania.
I love
anyway,
it too.
That is all we've got for you just now. Make sure to stick around on the channel, because we'll have What Happened At WTF Moments on Patreon. We'll have a podcast this week. We'll have all sorts of content. Go and check it out. You could even watch back the live reactions.
You can. Yeah, thank you so much. Both nights. Thank you so much to everybody that did join us. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to people that were either lurking or chatting in there. Thank you to people that subbed and donated and all that kind of stuff. It's very much appreciated. We couldn't do it without you, so thank you very, very much. However, that's not the biggest news coming out of WrestleMania.
What is the biggest news?
The biggest news is that you wonderful people have got Hell in a Smell 6 to look forward to.
Oh my God.
With Adam Pacitti himself. Oh, it's going to be good.
And on that note, let's get some sleep.